Have you ever wondered why some people always seem to get what they want? Whether it's in relationships, the workplace, or even social situations, they have this uncanny ability to influence others, leaving people saying yes without even realizing it. Is it luck? Is it charm? Or is it something more? Today we're diving into a fascinating topic, dark psychology. Now, before we go any further, let me be clear. This is not about manipulation for evil purposes or taking advantage of others. What we're discussing today are subtle psychological techniques, powerful tools of persuasion and influence that, when used ethically, can help you navigate tough situations, communicate more effectively, and even protect yourself from being manipulated. Sounds intriguing, right? Well, let's get started. 1. The power of mirroring. Let's start with one of the simplest yet most effective tricks: mirroring. This is when you subtly imitate someone's body language, tone, or even their choice of words. Studies have shown that mirroring creates a sense of connection and trust. Imagine you're in a job interview. The interviewer leans forward, you lean forward. They use certain phrases like team player or driven. You weave those same phrases into your answers. The result? They feel like you're just like them, someone they can relate to, and therefore someone they're more likely to trust or hire. Mirroring isn't about copying, it's about aligning. Try it, and you'll be amazed at how quickly people warm up to you. 2. The art of silence. Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable silence can be? Most people rush to fill it, and that's where you can gain the upper hand. Here's how it works. When someone makes a statement or an offer, resist the urge to respond immediately. Instead, stay silent and maintain eye contact. This technique is especially powerful in negotiations. That silence creates pressure, and 9 times out of 10, the other person will feel the need to justify or sweeten the deal. By saying nothing, you're essentially saying, "I'm not convinced yet." Silence, when used strategically, is louder than words. 3. The Benjamin Franklin effect. Next up is something you might not expect: asking for small favors. This is called the Benjamin Franklin effect. The idea is that when someone does you a small favor, they're more likely to do another favor for you in the future. Why? Because their brain justifies it by thinking, "I must like this person if I'm willing to help them." For example, if you're new at work and want to build rapport with a coworker, ask them to help you with something small, like proofreading an email or showing you where a certain file is stored. That simple act can pave the way for a stronger connection and more collaboration in the future. 4. Scarcity and the fear of missing out. FOMO. Have you ever bought something just because it was labeled limited edition or only 3 left in stock? That's the power of scarcity. People are naturally drawn to things that seem rare or exclusive. If you're trying to persuade someone, frame your offer in terms of scarcity. For example, instead of saying, "Let's meet sometime," say, "I'm available Tuesday afternoon, but I'm fully booked the rest of the week." The perception of limited availability makes your time or your offer seem more valuable. 5. The foot in the door technique. This is a classic psychological trick that works like magic. The idea is to start with a small request that's easy to say yes to, and then follow up with a larger request. For instance, if you're trying to get your team to adopt a big new initiative, start by asking them to agree to a tiny part of it. Once they've said yes to that, they're more likely to say yes to the bigger request because their brain wants to stay consistent with their earlier agreement. This technique is subtle but incredibly powerful. 6. reframing negative situations. Now here's a trick you can use not just on others, but on yourself. Reframing. This involves shifting the perspective of a situation to change how it's perceived. Let's say you're pitching an idea at work and your boss says, "This sounds risky." Instead of panicking, you could reframe it and say, "I understand it seems risky, but that's what makes it so innovative. It's a chance to get ahead of the competition." Suddenly, you've turned a negative into a positive and positioned yourself as a forward thinker. 7. The law of reciprocity. People naturally feel obligated to return favors. This is known as the law of reciprocity. For example, if you give someone a compliment, a small gift, or even just your time and attention, they'll often feel a subconscious urge to return the favor. This principle is widely used in marketing. Ever noticed how companies give out free samples? Once you accept the sample, you're more likely to buy the product. You can use this principle in your personal or professional life by offering something of value first, creating goodwill that encourages others to reciprocate. 8. Social proof. We're wired to follow the crowd. This is known as social proof, and it's one of the most powerful influences on human behavior. For instance, if you're pitching an idea and can point out that 80% of successful companies are doing this, you immediately boost your credibility. Similarly, in a social setting, pointing out that others trust you or your ideas can sway someone's opinion in your favor. We trust what others trust. It's human nature. 9. The foot in the door technique. This is a classic psychological trick that works like magic. The idea is to start with a small request that's easy to say yes to and then follow up with a larger request. For instance, if you're trying to get your team to adopt a big new initiative, start by asking them to agree to a tiny part of it. Once they've said yes to that, they're more likely to say yes to the bigger request because their brain wants to stay consistent with their earlier agreement. This technique is subtle but incredibly powerful. 10. Emotional labeling. Here's one that works wonders in tense situations. Emotional labeling. When someone is upset or stressed, simply acknowledging their feelings can immediately de-escalate the situation. For example, if a coworker is frustrated about a tight deadline, you could say, "I can see that this deadline is really stressing you out." This technique not only validates their emotions, but also makes them feel understood, opening the door for more productive conversations. Conclusion. Dark psychology isn't about trickery or deceit. It's about understanding how human minds work and using that knowledge wisely. These techniques like mirroring, silence, and reframing can empower you to communicate more effectively, build stronger connections, and protect yourself from being influenced unfairly. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use these tools ethically, and they can be a force for good, not harm. Now, if you found this video valuable, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to this channel for more insights into psychology, self-improvement, and the secrets of human behavior. And as always, remember, knowledge is power, but wisdom is knowing how to use it. See you next time.